Hello, Mammosals! According to a few fashion experts, big bags are making a comeback. The days of the micro bag supremacy is slowly dwindling down, and we are starting to see the rise of a new queen. Her name is Big Bags. It looks like 2021 is shaping up to be the year where you carry everything you own, from your handbag and flask collection to your emotional baggage, panic, and existential dread. So we'll be looking at my 2019 light blue jumbo Chevron classic flap in caviar with light gold hardware. I'll be talking about its history, the anatomy of the jumbo classic flap, what fits, how it looks on a petite frame, and give you my overall review. And if you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Kat and I make luxury videos mainly focusing on Chanel and its history. If you like anything luxury with a dash of humor, please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, comment, and follow me on Instagram. So, got your snacks and your drinks ready? If so, let's go! First, let's briefly discuss the history of this iconic beauty. The first iteration of the classic flap was first introduced by the legendary Gabrielle Coco Chanel in February 1955. It was revolutionary because it became the beacon of modernity, elegance, and class. Coco Chanel turned a style that was once reserved for the lower class into a style that signifies luxury and exclusivity. Though the 255 played a significant role in handbag history, it wasn't the bag that became synonymous with her brand. In fact, it was Karl Lagerfeld and his interpretation of Coco's 255 in the 1980s that saved the fashion house from losing its air of elegance and luxury. Lagerfeld completely understood Coco Chanel's vision and the power of her logo. So when he was designing the classic flap, he took the identity of the 255 and reinterpreted it into a more modern style that is suitable for the new fashion era. Lagerfeld added a few but significant details to his flap while still retaining the original DNA of the 255. Lagerfeld's classic flap is designed with Chanel's signature trademark, the diamond quilting. It was Gabrielle Chanel herself who designed this pattern, which served as a guarantee of quality to give the bags a certain durability and authentic look. The diamond quilting pattern was inspired by the stable boys' jacket and the horse's saddle cloth from the equestrian sport. Lagerfeld also incorporated the functionality and the versatility of the 255 into his classic flap. For instance, he kept the original 7 pockets from the 255 into his. First, let's take a look at the back. It takes a rounded shape that is reminiscent of a famous painting by Da Vinci, which is why the craftsman at the workshop nicknamed the pocket Mona Lisa Smile. Then, 6 other pockets decorate the interior. It has gusseted cases for business cards and credit cards, compact mirror, and lipstick. You'll also find a zipped pocket known as Le Secret, where you can store important papers. The key details that differentiated Lagerfeld's classic flap from Coco's 255 can be seen on the turnlock and the strap. Lagerfeld featured Chanel's logo, the interlocking CC, as a turnlock, whereas the 255 has a rectangular turnlock clasp, aka the Mademoiselle lock. The 255 strap features a bijou chain design, and the classic flap is designed with interwoven leather chain. There are also notable differences in the craftsmanship of the classic flap. For instance, the classic flap is made from green calfskin, aka caviar. Caviar is known for its beaded texture that can easily hide scratches. It is double flap, so what it means that its creation requires the craftsman to create a first handbag, which will be its interior. Then that craftsman creates a second handbag that will act as its exterior. It is then sewn together, and once it's sewn together, the craftsman turns them inside out, making it into a double flap. And it is what helps the bag retain its shape in the long run. And that is how the bag will outlast you and me. Now that we know the history of the classic flap, let's take a closer look at my light blue Chevron jumbo classic flap in matte caviar from the 2019 spring-summer collection. The color reminds me more of a cerulean blue, which means dark blue sky. The color is supposed to evoke peace and tranquility, which is probably why my mom passed me this bag down. Be like, girl, you need to reach purse peace, here you go. That blue will remind you of peace and tranquility. And for those who are unaware, my mom passed me down her jumbo classic flap, and it was one of the bags that made her truly jump for joy, but she is no longer enjoying it, so it is with me now. As for the undertone, I do not see any other colors on the bag except for cerulean blue. I feel like it's a true that kind of color. If you see any other undertones on this bag, please let me know in the comments, because I'm not seeing anything. But then again, I'm kind of blind, so. The dimensions of this beauty is 30 centimeters by 20 centimeters by 10 centimeters. And the interwoven leather strap measures about 33 centimeters with the chain doubled up. Here is a size comparison between the square mini, rectangular mini, medium, and jumbo flap. Then the chain comparison between the jumbo, the mini, and the medium. The leather is made out of matted caviar, and for those who are unfamiliar with the leather, caviar is another term used for green calfskin, and it is used to describe leather that has raised pebble-shaped texture applied to the surface. The pebble texture adds a visual appeal while making the leather more scratch and abrasion resistant. The leather finish of this beauty is matte, which means that it doesn't have any shine to the bag at all. When we compare it to other flaps with a shiny leather finish, the shiny finish flaps has a noticeable gleam to it, whereas the matte leather doesn't. The feel of matte caviar feels rougher when you compare it to shiny caviar, which feels slightly smoother. If you're wondering which leather is better, I'd say both are equally the same. The only difference is in the finish, and now it's up to your preference. Do you prefer shiny or matte caviar? As for maintenance and care for matte caviar flaps, there are 4 main things that you need to watch out for so you don't lose its matte finish. And these are accumulated dirt, body oils, greasy leather cleaners and conditioner, burnish from constant use, basically making something shiny from rubbing. So you're probably wondering, well, how do I maintain this matte caviar then? Don't worry, I got you, girl. There are 2 simple steps that you can do to maintain its matte finish. Tip number 1. Use any natural cleaning wipes to remove any grease or dirt buildup on the leather to maintain its matte finish. Then you just buff it away with a soft dry cloth or the cleaning cloth that came with your classic flap, and buff out any excess water or moisture. Then just let it air dry. But don't put it under direct sunlight, because the natural oil that allows the leather to be flexible and supple will get dried up. So just put it in a cool, dry place and let it air dry there. What? You don't have natural cleaning wipes? Well, I got another tip for you. If you don't have any natural cleaning wipes, you can also use distilled water and a microfiber cloth. Use distilled water because you want to avoid water that would possibly promote the growth of mold. Or if your water is hard, you don't want to add the extra minerals that could be harmful to the leather. You basically dab the microfiber. Girl, not that kind of dab. Anyways, you basically dab the microfiber cloth into water, but make sure you don't fully soak it and thoroughly wipe down the leather. Just wipe it a little and then remove the excess water or moisture with the microfiber cloth. Again, let it air dry and don't put it under direct sunlight. Just store it in a cool place. Now let's see what can fit inside. I'm sure it'll fit a lot of my essentials in there because it's a pretty big bag. For instance, I can put an iPad, water bottle, hand cream, sanitizer, power bank, notebooks, pens, keys, a Chanel towel to wipe off your sweat. The possibilities of what you can fit in there are endless. It all depends on what your essentials are. The weight of the double classic flap without anything in it weighs about 1.068 kilograms or 2.56 pounds. And if you're going to put your essentials in there, it can get pretty heavy. So now you're probably wondering, well, how will it fit throughout the whole day? 2 pounds for a bag? That's a lot. Will you feel the heaviness of the bag like you're carrying the whole world? Or will it be tolerable? Luckily for you, I tested it out in 2 different environments. 1 was at an amusement park, and 2, I was just out on a day date with my hubby. The first time I carried this beauty was at LegoLand. Yes, an amusement park where a lot of things can go wrong, like a boat flipping over and having it completely submerged in water. Yeah, but if you don't use the bag, then what's the point of having it? I was able to easily carry my essentials from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. without it feeling a little too heavy. Unfortunately, it did leave a mark and I had to go to the nearest clinic to get it checked out. I'm just kidding, girl. It looks worse than it actually is. I didn't notice the marks until towards the end of the day. However, keep in mind that I was wearing a sleeveless shirt, so of course it would leave a mark. I didn't feel the chains dig in at all throughout the whole day, so it was pretty good. However, I did feel the heaviness of the bag towards the end of the day because we were walking around, I was already tired, and everything just felt heavy. So that was the only time I felt the jumbo to be heavy. You're probably wondering how did it feel taking the jumbo at an amusement park. Well, there were 2 times that I kind of got really scared, especially when the yacht captain kept crashing into things and I had to take matters into my own hands. I'm trying to make sure that my bag and I do not go overboard. Needless to say, I am not hiring this captain ever again. 0 stars. Fortunately for me, I hired the best bodyguard and he literally took the bullet or the water bullets, whatever, and to ensure that my bag and I were safe. Now I'm inviting you to join me around my neighborhood to test out my Jumbo Classic Flap with a heavier essential such as iPad, water bottle, hand cream, sanitizers. This time I'm going to be wearing a long sleeve, so we'll see if it leaves a mark then.
Broccoli for some reason with a big Chanel bag. Hey, don't do it. How does it feel carrying that big bag?
Not bad.
Not bad?
Yeah. When I first put my jumbo on my shoulder, I definitely felt the heaviness of the bag, but I was able to adjust to it as time went on. It felt like I was carrying my medium flap and it didn't bother me too much. The only thing that I would say is that I found the second flap to be really annoying on the jumbo. Whenever I get my wallet out and put my water bottle back, it was kind of a hassle, but it wasn't too bad, and this is why I always leave the second flap unbuttoned. For longer days, you can wear your straps like this to shift the weight a bit or secure the bag to make sure that no one will be touching your baby. Now let's look at the pros and the cons of the jumbo. First, let's start out with the bad, and then so we can end it on a happy note, you know? One thing I didn't like about it is that you cannot wear it crossbody, well, at least for my petite frame. I mean, look at this. I wore it as a crossbody and it reaches all the way down to my knees. The double flap, as I've mentioned, can get pretty annoying. And that's about the negatives I can find for it. That's just me. I didn't feel the weight as a negative because it didn't bother me at all. Now let's look at the pros. I like how it can fit a lot of my essentials in there and how I can realistically fit a compact mirror or powder in there when you compare it to the medium classic flap. It's an amazing casual and daytime kind of bag. You know, if you're feeling casual but also want to feel a little bougie, this is perfect for it. I am extremely in love with the color, and the light gold hardware perfectly complements the cerulean blue. And finally, I love how I can easily place my arm on the flap when worn with double chains. As for the 2-year wear and tear of this beauty, it's still in pretty excellent condition because it rarely goes out. It's not the first bag that I tend to choose whenever I'm out with the family or going on casual dates. However, I do plan on using it a little bit more for when we have family stuff going on because it can easily carry all of our essentials and my husband can wear it too if I get tired. Overall, I think the Jumbo Classic Flap is amazing if you want a classic piece to use during the daytime. However, I'd opt for a tote bag if you think that the second flap will be annoying you when you take stuff in and out. Plus, considering the prices of a Jumbo Classic Flap right now, is it really worth it? That is up for you to decide. My mom didn't pass me down the Jumbo Classic Flap. I personally wouldn't have bought the Jumbo Classic Flap because it does not work for my everyday wardrobe. However, it may work for you if you feel like you want a big classic flap bag. It's your decision. However, if you're looking for a classic flap that can carry your essentials The Jumbo Classic Flap is perfect for you. As for the size, it is growing on me, and I don't think it's too much bag for my petite frame, even though my husband says, you look like you're wearing a tank.
It looks like a damn like tank on you. That's a bag. Look at that big bag.
Boy, be quiet because you're about to get it. And as for my petite mademoiselles, we cannot wear this double strap unless you cut off the chains. Well, what do you think, mademoiselles? Do you like big bags or smaller bags? Are you over the micro bag trend, or do you love micro bags? Let me know down below. And again, if you like these kind of content, please don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and comment.